off, who is much heavier than me and much stronger than me. We're both disabled. However, he's still stronger. He's more capable than I am. He has probably less pain than I have. So he's not a baby. He's not a fetus. He's not a midget. For me to simply stop him from doing what he did. And that's why I contacted the police, but instead they treated me like a plague. They still treat me like a plague in the public, as if my home is a plague and I'm suffering from famine, stuck in the dungeon of that dragon. So I want to make my home feel like a home. I don't want to make my home feel like a plague and like a famine. I want to receive the money that I'm eligible for. I want to receive the respect in the community that I'm supposed to have. I want to be able to plant herbs on my balcony and clean my balcony, clean my home and live here as long as I want to, without being threatened by Thrive Homes that are telling me to get out because it's not suitable accommodation. I'm housebound anyway. So they're not going to do a house arrest and tell me to get out. This is also abuse of power. My rent is paid. I don't owe them anything. I claim full housing benefits and council tax. Why are they putting pressure on me to sign my housing registration form so that I can get out? Why are they planting problems on my gas electricity bill, which is EDS energy? They've got a criminal there who is saying that I owe money from last year, which is a total lie, as I wasn't with them last year. I was with British Gas last year. I also had another problem encountered with BT, British Intercom telecommunication. My landline was hacked. My internet, all my online accounts were hacked, so I'm being a victim of cyberbullying, which is another criminal crime. I received shopping from Ocado. They want me to pay in full, even though I had written to them and showed them the evidence of things which were in my junk file that were delivered to my door. Another abuse. They delivered food to my door, which was in my junk box, and I told them to delete it. So when I contacted the customer services at Ocado, I said, I don't want these items. They delivered those items at Christmas last year. So they destroyed my Christmas. They destroyed my internet. They destroyed my Google account. They said I'm not allowed to use the internet. They destroyed 5 of my phones have been stolen, blacked out. They've destroyed my right to use the internet. But if I was in the employed category, blonde and blue eyes, or a black woman, then I could have had that freedom to do exactly what I did. So it is an abuse of power. They pity some people, they don't pity the other. They compare me to a pervert in exchange for the fact that I'm breathing so heavily and how I didn't want to listen to somebody opposite my front door having sex. So it's me fighting, it's me being a warrior against them. They're the plague, they're worse than cancer, they're worse than COVID pandemic because they're liars, child kidnappers, and they're thieves. If I've ever stolen anything, it was probably 17 years ago or 15 years ago, like some food or something like that, to survive, not some major thing. And because I got caught, I would never do it again. So I'm not a thief, I'm not a criminal, I'm not an adulterer, I'm not on drugs, I'm not a stinky sinner that would deliberately go and make trouble. They are all of that. So I'm surrounded by an enemy where I cannot plant my plants, enjoy my pets at home without them opening their disgusting mouths and making accusations on an innocent person, total stranger. They would open their disgusting mouths and tell lies, slander, and grieve the Holy Spirit that is in my home. My home is a home of prayer. It's not here to be a den of robbers, for people to come and rob me because I'm vulnerable. It gives them an automatic right to do so, does it? To produce an abnormal situation. That's their goal. That's how they get paid. This is not vetted. This is not tested. This is not checked. And where does it originate from? Does it originate from Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump's campaign in America? Does it originate from the Queen of England? Is she a giant giraffe with her head stuck up so high because it was never cut off? And I'm supposed to be a fat hippo or a fat rhinoceros in the zoo? I don't think so. You can take that back. It's extremely aggressive, it's extremely arrogant from one side to the other, left government, right government, the ally America versus England, and how they have been magnificent, and at the same time they rubbished Maya Maria, my name. They've blackened my name. So this hostile environment is a social and ethnic terrorist. They've withdrawn any agreement to have parental and birth rights. They transgressed against me and accused me for their guilt and their sins and their crimes. Made notes here. They persecuted me for faults I have never committed. They've invaded. I've spoken about how they've invaded me. They said I was asexual, so I had to agree with them, and I had to mean the opposite of what I meant, because I was surrounded by the majority lunatic. On my social platform, most of my posts, most of my words actually mean the opposite of what I mean. So asexually, someone doesn't actually like sex. I do like sex, but with the right person, and with it actually who has a relationship with me, not with a person that wants to abuse me and use me and then have sex. So they're saying I have no right to have a holy and healthy relationship because of my poverty. This is another way they're abusing me. They're saying I have to know my own kind and stick with my own class because I cannot be a high-rated woman to be treated with respect, even though my God says I am. They're saying I'm not because of this class war problem. They also modified uniforms. They indoctrinated children in the education system. They would ignore a hospital patient who's having an inflammation for as long as possible, or any infection for as long as possible, and then until the worst case scenario, and make excuses so that they don't have equipment or they don't have the resources. So they want to privatise our medical resources. They say I should have plastic surgery on my nose. I'm thinking of changing my mind about that. I think my nose is better looking compared to a pepper nose or a pig nose. They said I wasn't allowed to use a dating agency because I'll be a Christian dating agency or religious dating agency because I'll be hit, like being hit over by a bus. In other words, I'll be robbed and raped, which is antisocial because, in fact, I found when I was married, we met at a workplace. We did not meet at a dating agency. I don't recommend a dating agency because modern way of meeting people is through the internet. And that's because the government is making everybody use the internet, work on the internet, shop on the internet, bank on the internet. And so this